is a question that you might ask yourself if you just got out of a serious relationship, a relationship that was official, or if you call it a courtship, whatever you may have referred to it as, even if it was just a developing friendship, which was a little bit more than just friends, and it somehow didn't work out. You might find yourself asking this question: can we still be friends? And the answer is, in a nutshell, no, not now. We can't be friends right now. And it's a difficult answer to deal with. It's a painful answer to deal with. But if you look at it, you really only have two options, right? Your two options are, okay, we're going to try to go back to being normal friends, just friends, before any of the romantic feelings, before I told you I liked you, or he told you he liked you, or you went out on dates, whatever the case may be, before any of that. One option is to go back to whatever your relationship was before that, just friends. The other option is to cut it off. Just take a break from the friendship for right now. Have no interactions with this person, no more texting, no more phone calls, no more hanging out. And the reason why I say that no, you can't be friends, you can't just be friends, at least not right now, is because as women, we can sometimes think that we are more in control of our emotions than we really are. I know we don't want to admit it to ourselves, but if we're honest, every time we interact with that person, that special someone who it didn't work out with, every time we hang out with them, every time we have a phone conversation, late at night, or a video chat, Skype, whatever, however you connect, every time you do those things, there's something inside of our hearts, inside of our emotional being, that still wants it to be the way it was before the drama, before the mess, before it didn't really work out. You want it to go back to what it was before. You'll find yourself remembering the good times. You won't necessarily remember why it didn't work out, but instead you'll remember all the good stuff about this person, and you'll long for that again. And that's not a healthy place to be, because as a Christian woman, as a young lady who is waiting for God to send the right person, if this relationship didn't work out for whatever reason, you have to allow for yourself time to heal and be ready for whoever God has for you. And if you're still interacting with this person, even if it's on a just friends level, your heart is still connected. You haven't given your heart enough space and enough time to detach yourself emotionally from this person. And the process will be much longer for you to fully heal and fully be detached from this person. And especially if you've been involved physically with the person, and if your relationship was a longer relationship, we'll talk about that in other videos as well, then it's going to be even harder for you to detach yourself. Just trust me on this one. I know it's also hard to completely just go cold turkey, not interact with this person anymore, not text, not hang out, not see this person. I know that's also hard, but your alternative is even more painful. Even though in the moment you enjoy hanging out with the person, it's more painful to do it that way. It's a longer process, and you want to be ready for whoever God has for you. So if you're still clinging to this other person, even if you don't intellectually acknowledge that, emotionally you're still there with that person. Even if you don't want to acknowledge it, it's just the truth. As women, we're emotional beings, and our emotions are going to play tricks on us. They're gonna tell us foolishness, even though in your mind you know that this is not the right person, this is not gonna work out. So my advice to you is no, you can't still be friends. At least not right now, not at this point in time. You have to give yourself time to heal. You have to let God help you remove yourself emotionally from this person so that you can be ready for the person that God has for you. And it might be that God will bring it back around. Maybe God is just saying now is not the time. And if that's the case, it will come back together in the right time. But since you don't know if that's the case, give yourself some time to heal. And the scripture that comes to mind when I think about this question is, can a man take fire to his bosom and not get burned? And usually we think of this verse in the context of sexual sin. And yes, while there are applications there, I think fire just speaks to anything that has the potential to bring you harm and danger. And when you think about still holding on to certain aspects of a relationship with someone who you had a romantic interest in and it didn't work out, still interacting with that person can bring you harm. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not, it can bring you emotional harm because you're not healing, you're not detaching yourself from this person. For men, it's much easier for them. Once they get to a place where they decide, you know what, this is not the one for me, it's easy for them to close that option and to move on. However, they will still want you around just to be their friend, just for companionship. They long for companionship too. So even though they know that you're not gonna be their wife, the sad reality is they would still want to enjoy your companionship, your company, your friendship. They will still do that. And as women, we'll interpret that as, oh, maybe he's not sure, or maybe we have a chance, maybe he's changed, maybe he's willing to adjust in some of the areas that I want him to adjust so that it can work. We'll start thinking those things. We'll start hoping those things because now he wants to spend time with us. He still wants to hang around with us. And the sad reality is, for a man, they can still do that even though they know intellectually that I'm not going to marry you. But as a woman, when we're still spending time in that way, in our minds it's maybe we can still work. So that's a dangerous place for us to put ourselves emotionally, and we shouldn't deceive ourselves into thinking I can play with this, I'm strong enough, I can control and manage my emotions and my thoughts, I'm not going to allow myself to go down that road. We cannot play with fire and not get burned. So my advice to you, give it time. Just cut it off for now. No more texting back and forth. No more late night conversations. No more hanging out. Just give yourself a break. Time from this person so that you can heal. Obviously, you're not going to be hostile, right? You're not going to ignore this person if you see them. Depending on your context, you might go to the same church, you might go to the same school, and you might see them on a regular basis. So of course you say hi, but you say hi and bye and you keep it moving. Don't allow for yourself to get reeled in emotionally. Move on and let God do the healing in your heart. Let God prepare you for the right one He has for you.